All of the content contained in this webcast is for informational purposes only. The investments and strategies contained in this webcast may not be suitable for you. Please consult your own independent financial advisor before making any investment or trading decisions. Good morning, Dennis. The world is caving in. The S&Ps are down 9 points. This must be the correction we were looking for.
9 points. Get your buy-in shoes on. Such deals out there this morning. Man, it's been a long time since we've seen the market open down 9 points. And the funny thing is, it's pretty broad. There isn't really that one catalyst that's driving it down. We've got everything just pulling back a bit. So maybe this is a healthy pullback, Joel.
This is the move. I mean, we cannot be down more than 9 S&P points in one day. So here's the correction everyone's been looking for at 0.002%.
Yeah.
Current global 1405. That was a point above the close from yesterday. 1404. Draw a line in the sand there with that 1404 or 1404 level. If that 1405 stands as the high of the day, we have a down 1392.75. Speaking of that, we've already gotten 1394 and a quarter, and we're kind of inching our way lower as we speak. Real good level to keep an eye on, folks. You had Monday's low at 1393.50 and 1394. So that double bottom for 5 major support. If we take that, we might even have a correction, perhaps even trade in the 1380s, which would be unbelievable. Back on the upside, I look for resistance if we get back to that 1398.50 level, which was the second highest close of the move. Moving on to the Big Ten, Dennis. ExxonMobil was able to take out that size at 87, but didn't travel very far. Got to 87.18. Didn't spend a whole lot of time in the 87 handle. 86.99 close. We're definitely trading that. So that 87 will again be a wall to get through. Coming back on the downside, similar to the S&Ps, double bottom here. 85.92 Friday's low and 86.03 Monday's low. So things are stacking up pretty well here in ExxonMobil.
Yeah, it's looking like a pretty decent technical setup here where we've had 1, 2, 3, and we did take out the top, like you said, 87.18. But I think you're right. I think the 87, especially since the settlement 86.99, 87 will still provide some resistance. And with the double bottom there, maybe the 86 holds. So maybe from a technical perspective, you could try being a buyer in the low 86s, selling in the high 86s, just using those whole numbers as you're out.
Okay, there must be something wrong with my trade station here because it's showing Apple down 279. Dennis,
they better just close the stock. That's not allowed to happen. Apple being down, but yeah, it's down a couple bucks, Joel.
Traded up in the pre-market when they announced that they sold 84 million iPads. Got up to 605 in the pre-market just after they announced that 605.60. Have had a pretty good sell-off, Dennis. I'd say 597.31 is the number I'd be looking for on the downside. That coincides with 596.60, which was the pre-market low. So really needs to hold this 597 level. If not, really have nothing to take a look at until Monday's low at 589.05. Longer term, I'm still looking at this 578 level. Is major support in Apple.
Yeah, really bounced off that 578. It was a good call on your part there, Joe, when it opened after they had it halted there in the pre-market yesterday. It opened up at about 585, tanked right down to 578.50, and then just bounced hard, and obviously bounced up over 20 points after that. So that 578 level is enormous down there. I obviously don't think that's coming into play today. I think you see the volatility down a little bit in this stock because it can't keep having 20-point ranges every day. It's probably going to try to stop and consolidate for a while. Draw the line in the sand, at this 601.77 52-week intraday high. Even though in the pre-market and even last night we traded above there a little bit, still that's the intraday high, 601.77. So you want to keep an eye on that number.
Okay, IBM, we talked about that 206 level where it closed on Friday on monster volume. It was able to get up to 206.53 during the interday session. Could not hold that level towards the close. Closed at 205.72. Monday's low is being tested right now, 204.50. So we are opening into support. Things really open up after that. A good buck down to 203.64. But you have to imagine, Dennis, this thing's got to come back maybe and kiss that 200 level again.
It may, Joel. We've got a little bit of weakness there all over the tech sector yesterday. Even though Apple held up relatively well, a lot of other tech stocks, including Microsoft, broke down yesterday. IBM obviously just had a little bit of a breakdown day yesterday, almost just starting there, so I wouldn't be surprised if it takes out yesterday's low at 204.50, which it is doing in the pre-market right now. Actually, surprising enough, it's trading right at 204.50 right now. Then it starts to open up a bit, so use that 204.50 as an indicator. Starts to take that number out, then I think I wouldn't want to be long it.
Okay, Chevron Corporation. We've been talking about the problems it's been having in the 111 level. Got up to 111.06 yesterday, but 110.70. Got a good formation to look at right here. We are opening into Friday. Monday's low was 110.30. Friday's low was 110.10. So similar to the Exxon Mobil and the S&Ps, opening into a double bottom here, opening into support. Below that, 109.46 was Thursday's low, and over the next couple days, 08 level coming. I'm sure the 110 handle is going to be littered with sellers.
Yeah, 110 is a big number on this just from a psychological perspective there as well, Joel. And if we can take that 110 out, we're trading right there in the pre-market. The stock's down 70 cents, trading right there in the pre-market. We do take that 110 level out, then the stock might break down. But that's probably the first test, and that's what's happening here in the pre-market. So see what happens during the regular session. It takes the 110 out, then you got to be cautious with this one.
Okay, Mr. Softy was soft yesterday, right out of the gate. We had talked about that triple bottom area at 32.50. Opened a dime above that, came crashing through. Went to Monday's low at 32.15. That coincided with the 5-day low at 32.16. We are now trading below that in the pre-market. So 32.15 up to 32.20 will be your resistance levels as people hope to get out at their mark. Dennis is going to tell you there's support at 32, but there's really not. The support is at 31.82, which is the 6-day low. Looks like Mr. Softy's starting to give some of it back, Dennis.
This stock is starting to look broken here to me too, Joel. The trend isn't quite broken yet, but the last couple of sessions, Microsoft has been weak. I think you got to sell rallies in this. I'd love the thing to rally 20 or 30 cents and get a chance to get a short off, but I don't know if you're going to get that. Even in the pre-market here, it's down another 15 cents. So the 32 area is going to be tested and possibly maybe taken out here today. So then we start looking at the 31 handle. It's been a while since Microsoft's been in the 31 handle.
Okay, General Electric was able to make a new high for the move. Got above that 2030 level, not for long. Got to 2036. Double close, Friday and Monday's close, 2020 and 2021. That will now act as very good resistance since we're trading down 15 cents in the pre-market. Here we go again, same thing, double bottom, 2001, 2006. Were the lows from Friday and Monday. We take those out, Dennis. We'll be revisiting the 19 handle. We did get a couple closes over 20, but get this thing under 20, Dennis. It looks like we'd be heading back to that old 19 handle that we're also familiar with.
Yeah, it's pretty weak in the pre-market here too, Joel. Down 15 more cents. I know we're down 9, so I guess that's what's driving everything down. It's like it's very broad today, the sell-off, and GE is no exception here, being sold off right around fair value at 20.05. The stock is in trouble a little bit here too. You had a lot of stocks yesterday, even though we were up on the day. A lot of stocks weren't that strong. It was almost kind of a reversal in some individual issues yesterday. And GE, making the new high, and everybody's it's going higher, and then all of a sudden turns around, and you probably caught a few people out. The thing was looking like it possibly, it could be breaking out again. Catch them long, and now they're going to probably end up puking the stock out here somewhere. So I don't think I really want to own this one either.
Okay, Procter and Gamble here, Dennis. We've been talking about the 68 level. Well, that looks like a thing of the past now. Procter and Gamble trading down in the pre-market, 67.13. Did sneak under the $67 level we were talking about as support. Monday's low, 66.96. Look for a test of that. Below that, you have the 6 and 7, 8 day lows, 66.73 down to 66.42. But it looks like Procter & Gamble will be losing some steam today. Look for resistance at the close, 67 and a quarter. And lo and behold, if it gets up near that 67.50 area, it should find major, major
The
resistance.
stock is very looking very weak on the chart too. That 68 held well. Now it's getting quite a ways away from there. So I'd expect any type of rally to be met with sellers here. It's called the whole area even 67.5 now. I think you get up to the 67.5 or up. I think you're gonna find sellers up there because the 68 level looks like it might hold.
Okay, AT&T running into a wall here at 31.80 and below. Last week's high, that's where it topped out at on Wednesday. Friday and Monday's high, 31.71 to 74. Did manage to trade, though, close in the upper portion of that range, 31.65, but down in the pre-market. So I expect resistance to start a little bit below that, 31.60, 31.65. Coming back on the downside, really nothing until 31.35, Monday and Thursday's lows. That will be major support. Below that, we'll be heading down closer to 31, 31.18 being the 7 day low.
Sellers all over the place in the 31.70s and 31.80s. So definitely, if it gets a rally up 10 cents from where it's settled, I think it's going to be met with some pretty good resistance.
Okay, J&J still trying to hang in there in the 65 handle yesterday. Did manage to close at 65.21, only 6 cents off the high of the day. Doesn't look like we'll be seeing that level today. Instead, double bottom, 64.81 to Friday's lows. Major support there. We're going to be testing that early in the session. And below that, also major support at the 64.50 level. But Dennis, I'm almost tempted to buy a 63, 66 strangle here because this thing is, or call it 64, 66 because this thing's going to break out of that range. I'm predicting it here, Dennis.
I don't know, Joel. I think it's going to take a while before it breaks out of that range. Stuck right in the middle of it right now. 65.21 is where it closes, trading 64.95 in the pre-market. I don't know if we're ever going to get away from this whole 65 area. 65 area continues to be a magnet every time. It moves up to the 65.40s, pulls back to 65. It moves down to the 64.50s, pulls up to 65. So there's been a million times where the 65 has acted like a magnet. I think I'm starting to see some size form in the 65.5 area too. So those high frequency guys will be sellers in the 65.40s.
Yeah, I think it's either going to take like another Tylenol recall or Johnson & Johnson baby shampoo curing cancer to get this thing to move. Moving on to Pfizer Corporation, really running into the trouble at the $22 level. Again, Dennis, we talked about that. Topped out at 22.10 last week. Couldn't even get to 22 yesterday. 21.96 was the 81.82, Dennis, double bottom there. We're just treading upon it. It looks to take that out in the session. We'll get down easily to 21.62, which was Tuesday's low.
Definitely struggling in that 22 area, and I expect high frequency resistance all in the 21.90s.
Okay, as you know, we read it here as the S&Ps, we are opening into support, so you have to respect that. At least off the open. Doesn't really seem like this market can ever really take out these support levels without having some kind of rip-roaring rally back. And see what's wrong with my Apple quote because it's showing it down 221, and we'll be back with our market movers.